Meeting is being live streamed. Got it.
Hey, I told you I'd warn you.
All right.
So
Does that mean we're actually live now?
yeah, we're live. Live.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's make the magic happen again.
Oh, is it bedtime already?
Feels like it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I made a really obnoxious. No, not obnoxious. You know, I'm not making excuses for the work that I do. I made a bit of a show intro that entertained me. It's quite long, so we're only going to play a minute of it. Got a little wonky on the RAM. It's all right, little computer.
No, but I got the gist there. It didn't lag that too much, you know.
Good. So yeah, Shelf Up Show. Welcome.
Is that the show I'm on?
No.
I'm on.
I don't know if you could tell, but I put that together rather quickly with very little thought about editing, continuity, sound. And it was one of my favorite things so far. The last thought
looked like what any other psychopath would put together on a whim in between a cigarette break.
Yeah, exactly. Spent a lot of time actually cleaning up my production, things that I'm doing separate, other ventures, and using YouTube algorithm and regular releases, and yeah, some of my other stuff is picking up quite a bit of traffic. So I wondered if I paid attention to something and I did it right from the beginning, instead of trying to do all things at the same time and see what happens, how that would work out. So
my gosh, who would have ever recommended or thought of that? That is profound.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very weird, isn't it?
Now I made some money with ClickBank, and then I spent some
good for you.
I spent some money with ClickBank too, and that was funny because I bought my own product.
Sometimes you test it.
I want to see. I bought it. I want to see the cycle. So it's like comes off of my debit card, and then it's like invoice.
Yeah, but you understand when you put it up there that that's what the test feature is for. For those of you who don't know about ClickBank, it's a place where if you have mostly, I guess you can do physical product, but if you have electronic product, you can go in and you can put it up and they will be the in-between and take care of things. And when you're putting together with very little knowledge, because they walk you through it, you can test it beforehand without doing what Mr. Adams has done.
No, I tested. I tested it. I was curious now what the additional products were going to be. I did that on purpose.
You did upsells?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
So I want to see the whole,
I know upsells are tricky.
I want to see the whole cycle. So not just the beginning. So
for those of you at home who are viewing in, they also let you test that without doing what Mr. Adams did and spending his own money on himself. But basically he got the majority of it back. And
I lose a couple bucks.
I did the same thing in the beginning because it's just worth, like if something comes, like you do a launch and you have 0 sales, you go, something is wrong. So you go in and buy it yourself just to find out if it's right.
Right.
You find out it's right, you just find out that your product sucked. And
yeah. I've had epiphanies over the last year.
Well, hold on. Back up.
Yeah.
You're missing your plug. Where does the viewer get to find your ClickBank product?
It's currently being advertised on not anything I have. So I'm using CPC and then native and pop-up ads.
So for those of you tuning in at home, Mr. Adams runs a show that's running on 5 channels right now and cannot give you a direct link to where you can purchase more information from him.
No, not for this.
That in marketing is what we call genius.
Shitting the bed. What is it? Money, power, and bitches? How does it go? I don't need any of it.
But I will give you kudos that you're on there. It's been, I don't know what, a year maybe.
About a year. I still have the original document where you and I were talking.
It's a year since I kind of railed on you one night with the whole.
Well, you quit selling Amway to your friends. Quit selling Amway to your friends, which is why I don't. This is why I don't sell anything anymore. I'm not. I realized my passion for one thing isn't necessarily mine for the other. Like, so if I want to grow a lead list of people who are interested in self-help stuff, I can do that without this, like without muddying what's going on here. This can become a part of it at some point.
I have no idea what you just said. Can you say that again and talk to me like I'm 5?
What? I don't have to take my friends and audience from here and make them into customers.
Okay.
I can generate, and I've been doing it. I can tell you how many people I have. I can generate people who are interested in self-help, independent of the audience that I'm talking to now. If this audience wants to participate at some point, I'm fine with it, but it's not contingent. Hi, you're next.
Oh,
Matthew.
You called on me? Okay, great.
Matthew, with 1 T.
So, Mr. Adams, if I wanted to know a book recommendation from you, how would I find that out?
You go to theshelfhelpshow.com.
All right. And now for those of you who are internet marketers, are you affiliated?
Am I affiliated? No.
And why not?
Do I have that affiliated with other No, I'm currently, I'm not using that to, I'm using some subdomains for for funnels.
Okay, you're missing my point. If you recommend a book to me and I go buy it, you should get a cut.
Oh yeah, I guess we can do it through Amazon. I've got,
Yeah, absolutely. It's not big. It's nothing. You're not going to get.
yeah, I've got affiliate through Amazon through, I don't know, like,
That's what I'm saying. And so if there's a ClickBank product that you also like, that's why you become an affiliate for that product. Let's say you decide that, I don't know, signs from the, what do they call that? Where they read the stars?
Zodiac.
Signs.
Yeah.
You find a program that you think is awesome. You've used it. You've found true love in your life. It's working for you.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is. I come to you. I say, what made it work with you to find this wonderful girl that he now does have, by the way?
Rohypnol.
And how did that work? And then you say, well, it's over here.
Does this smell like
when you
chloroform?
do it, and that's called a hop link in ClickBank, which means that if I decide I want to try this also, then Mr. Adams gets whatever percentage of that sale.
Yeah.
Just for a referral.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Well, I know you know how it works. I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
You're obviously not doing it, so completely. You're just doing a little bit.
I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it this way. Ask me why.
Why aren't you doing it this way?
Thanks for asking, Matthew.
That's what I do.
When I found that when I think of spending time with my friends, having connections, whether it be for purely entertainment purposes or usually there's something beneficial that comes out of it. There's lessons to be learned. I found when my brain was monetizing that, then I was losing the engagement. I would be, I'm already a busy bee in the background, thinking of what is the next thing, what's the next segue, what's the next bid, what's the next whatever. When I started thinking about it from a monetizing standpoint also, then I was like, what's my next placement? What's the next spot? How do I tie it all together? And it made me not like doing both either. So I found I stopped loving this for the sake of loving this, and that was no fun. And then I just stopped the whole marketing completely because I was blaming that on this. So I thought, I don't want to lose both things. I want to do both things. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. So digital marketing is everybody's trading pennies with each other. And when I stopped and I took myself out as a product, I removed myself as a product for the time being and said, let me focus on not me as a product, but let me focus on me as the marketer. And let me remember the order of events. What are the different types that can be done? Where can you advertise? Who gets paid? How does it get divided up? Where do you decide to have your type? Where do you decide you want your ads to be? How much do you bid against the rest of the world in order to have your ads show up? What type of ads? Is it interruption based? Is it embedded in websites? Is it at the bottom of blogs? Is it keyword? There's all these different variables out there. And I realized I didn't need me to be pivot while I start working on what's going to be something that could be replicated relatively easily, because I find I like to do unique work all the time. And I think that's not necessary. I think unique ideas are good. I think flair is good. I think a different angle of attack. But companies who are successful and businesses who are successful, there's a consistency in approach. They don't just scatter shot and go, this time I'm going to try it this way. This time I'm going to put it on porno. I'm going to put it on Pornhub, and it's going to be a pop-up, and it's going to be about depression, because I know that dudes looking at porn and depressed. That's going to take them to, like, there's room for creativity, but there's also room for figuring out the science behind it. How do people react, and what type of environments? And then
that's what you enjoy. Well, then you know what? That's a great answer. I totally accept that. You're actually a lot like my friend Bubba, because that's kind of where he's at. He likes to do the inner workings in the background. So
yeah,
when I'm ready, I'm gonna hire the two of you as a team, and then I'll be unstoppable. But there's got to be a talent out front, but it doesn't have to be you.
Right. There's enough out there. Even with ClickBank, you find something. If you find something that resonates with you, you don't have to be the creator. And the ClickBank's not the only place. It's not the only show in town. There's plenty.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I don't go too far. One of my best ClickBank stories, and I can't remember the product, but I promoted a product to my list. They had written out the script already, was done, and just fill in your name. It took like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
My dad read it, and then when he saw me, he's like, "What was that bullshit you sent out the other day?" And I said, "I don't know, but that bullshit made me $350 that day."
Right.
And he goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." Because they had done everything you're talking about. They had looked at it, and I had checked out the product, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was years ago, so that's why I can't remember what it was.
It's amazing how much work they do. The affiliates, when you go and check them out, they're like, you want to make 75% commissions? Here's everything. And they literally, okay, you want to run Facebook ads? Here's the banners. Here's the wording. You want to do
Google, of course.
Google AdSense? These are the keywords. This is SEO. Yeah. You want this? You want? It's all there. I'm like, so my job at this point is to take your thing, go to, like, say, Bidvertiser, which is a digital platform for to either for you to place your ads or for you to buy ad space. You can buy ad space, or you can buy clicks. It's very interesting the way it works. That's why I say digital marketing is trading pennies. I pay this platform, I say whatever 0.008 pennies per click. And they say, okay, are there any particular topics or keywords that you want to focus on? Psychology, biology, whatever. Or are there any areas that you don't want to? And then where in the world do you want to do it? We recommend the United States. They buy more stuff than anybody else. India, no, they won't buy your stuff. And then they're like,
India buys my stuff all day long.
Do they? Oh,
yeah.
Yours is, yeah, I can see yours is very, very
special. But it just translates well.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
My biggest problem is Malaysia. PayPal doesn't allow Malaysia sales, so I have problems with that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's fascinating.
By the way, you can all find at zerolimitsmusic.com. Should know my own.
Limitsmusic.com. Wow.
All spelled out.
So I loved figuring that part out. I'm like, I'm just the messenger at this point. I took this person's stuff. They're going to give me a big percent, 75%. I'm telling this platform, I want these type of ads, and I'm willing to pay so much per click. Then they go out to those platforms and they go to those advertisers, those places who buy ads or are willing to have those ads on their site. And they say, this guy's bidding, or he's outbidding everybody. He's willing to pay a half a penny per click. And they're like, yeah, we'll take his. And then you watch it and they go, here's my credits. Here's my bids. Here's what everybody else looks like. And they're like, yeah. And they start fulfilling my orders, and my orders start going out onto websites, and they get put into blogs, and it's all out there. And I'm paying, those websites are getting paid to host my thing through the platform that I'm paying to push it, in hopes that I get someone to click through and go back here to the place where I'm getting the 75% cut. And you watch, it's fascinating. You watch it, and then I've got it hyperlink and forward into my subdomain. So it's on my, I could tell now if I'm getting traffic, I have a traffic counter on that subdomain, and I'm like, ding, huh? And then you can see how many people are clicking through where they just accepted the ads. And then you're like, the circle of life.
Yeah. And when they click through, though,
now as long as they don't
now
bail,
you're in a copy world, right? So it's
right. If they don't bail when they get to the, do you believe numbers are important in your life? It was like in numerologies where I started, which got some movement.
Numbers. They come
I
up
shouldn't have put Zodiac on Pornhub though.
Nice.
But anyway, that's like a full-time job, but it's fun.
It is a full-time job.
I don't
and the groups that I've sat with, like the group in New York, it's like they launch and there's 5 different individuals in the room, all on laptops, and they're tweaking on the fly. And they're running statistics and numbers just to see. And there's all these programs, I don't know if you've heard about them, like the heat sensitive, like where your mouse actually goes on the page.
Oh yeah.
They track that too. I mean, they're tracking everything.
Impressions.
And you know what? I'm one guy in this room. I got guitars and a computer. That's all I got. I'm lucky to get anything done. Plus, I'm fairly illiterate, so I can barely write, and sometimes I can read a few words, and that's about it.
You're quite smart, actually, to relegate that to the people who want to do it.
Yeah, well, we need people like you who that's your passion. If you got your passion, then go with it.
I like.
I do want to shift gears real quick onto a serious subject that's kind of a bummer subject, I think. But
hemorrhoids.
Considering, no, I got those under control. I'm good.
Don't push so hard. Don't sit there for that long.
That bullet, man, that thing just scared it right away. So for those of you too, why am I like it? Oh man, my light just went out. That's not good.
It's warning you.
Oh, you can still kind of see me though. So now in the black.
Were you warned? Somebody
No, actually it's one of those Amazon lights or something like that. So unfortunately it may be dead.
I think the universe is saying, watch your story.
Oh yeah, don't talk about this.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Big Brother says no. Yeah, nobody talks about Bruno. For those of you at home, I am in Texas. Mr. Adams here is in Arizona.
America. Yes, Arizona.
Both America places. But we're, and I always say the drug wrong, fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
You guys having a fentanyl issue out there?
Yeah, Tucson is a distribution hub for cocaine, heroin. This is a wholesale place. So it comes out of Mexico. Sinaloa is right here south of the border. And everything, it hubs here, because you can get it the cheapest. Want to get a kilo of cocaine? It's 25 grand. You buy that same kilo in Detroit, Michigan, it's 46 grand. Because it's a wholesale place here. So yeah, there's a lot of fentanyl overdoses and kids.
Yeah, we're having it's actually 2 counties up from us and coming down our way. And 2 weeks ago, because my girlfriend works in the school district, they literally had a high school kid overdose in class from fentanyl.
Yeah.
And we're hearing all these things about it. And my wife, who works for the children, or wife, she's not my wife. She's,
Your once
my
wife.
once wife. She was telling me today she was in this meeting, chief of police, everybody in the neighborhood, and with the fire marshal and everybody else, and they were just talking about it. They've only had 1 fatality here. And they said, but man, this stuff is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And having a 16-year-old daughter, I'm not an idiot. I can't tell her don't do drugs,
Well, you can.
Well, yeah, but that's like don't have sex, abstinence is the best control for birth control, but let's be honest, how often does that work?
I run both lines. I'm like, my permission, I do not have permission to be sexually active. Period. It's wrong. Here are the reasons why. Here are a million things you can do other than P and the V. However, we're putting you on birth control. That's still not permission. So let me explain. The morals that I have for you are gonna be more stringent than the ones even I had for myself. Because let me tell you how life changes. So this isn't, I don't want to know, but you know what I mean? Like, you become sexually active. I don't want to not know. If there's an issue, if there's a concern, if there's a fear, if there's pressure, if there's all these things, we have to deal with those things together as a team.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not express permission. Do you understand the difference? And she's like, I think so. I'm like, just because we're giving you the path to be safe. And we'd rather you take that path than be blind idiots. If you're going to choose to, that's still not you being like, I'm fucking my boyfriend. Do you understand me? Do you see the difference? There's an amount of propriety we have, an amount of character we're going to have about this.
Yeah.
She's like,
well, it's not like I'm going to be like, you get a boyfriend, yeah, you can do it in your room. No,
right.
My house, my rules.
Right. And I'm like, don't smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I interrupted. My bad.
Oh,
that was a good conversation.
Well, I wonder what was going on because I don't keep up on the news and politics, or
I just found out.
I don't keep up on anything else
Queen died today.
in my immediate circle. I have enough going on that I don't even think beyond it. And sometimes that's probably not a good thing.
My kids have the unique, I say pleasure of having me as their father, because I am a dichotomy of most things, or a contradiction in terms often. They know that I know about all the dark and dirty, evil, bad things, and that I'm not opposed to anything just based on principle. I am very, very pro being educated, understanding what exists, understanding what risks are, and not putting yourself in a situation to either be peer pressured ever, or to do something that you would question, should I do this ever? I don't know, like, you guys need to be at the top of the food chain when it comes to these sort of things, because I never want you to be in a situation where they're like, hey, you should take this because we're taking it. And you're like, okay. You should be able to say, well, actually, you're an idiot. You're taking your mom's menstrual medicine. All that's going to do is make you pee more. I'm like, I want you guys to identify pills.
It's
I want
called a diuretic.
Yeah.
You want to go pee every 10 minutes?
Right.
What I have to do. Yay.
I want you guys to understand what you're up against, so that if your friends start talking, they're going to go, oh, well, there's no sense in, we're going to ask Hunter's advice. you know, like we're not going to pressure Hunter because we know that Hunter's dad teaches him about what all those things are.
Yeah, it's
So,
better to be
but-
open, and we have a very open, probably much like you do with your kids. We have a very open conversational relationship where sometimes you hear things you don't want to hear,
Yeah.
but you can't react because otherwise they won't feel like they can come to you with something.
Right. Right.
And I heard things that I don't want to hear. You know?
The kids think that the doors here are like made of steel.
Yeah.
You
I
hear
can tell
one
Dad anything.
one of the kids on the
He's
phone is like,
completely unaffected.
"Ah, do you jerk off every time you're in the shower?" These little girls having this conversation. Yeah, probably. Do you come every time? I was like, turn the fucking music up, please. Where are my headphones? I don't
Those are pretty big conversations. And why are you still jerking off in the shower? I gave up on that years ago.
Not me. These are one of my daughters and her friend talking in front of my other daughter.
I thought you were jerking off in the shower.
Oh no, these three girls having a conversation, three teenagers.
Like here's a 48-year-old man still in the shower going,
No,
it's my only solace place I can go to.
Don't sit at my desk. It looks like a crime scene.
Black
There's a
light.
reason-
Oh,
The reason why there's three monitors. I had a black light. It burned out unfortunately, but for the technical work,
unfortunately,
I checked. I was like, I'm impressed.
because you kept checking all the time, checking the sheets.
I would have it on when I was
It
doing the
lasts
show.
so long, Geoff, and I assume you put it through its toll.
Made my teeth look very white during the shows.
Oh yeah, those are crazy.
But yeah,
Well,
no, this
moving on. So these things I think are all 2 weeks apart. So the next week was the high school that my daughter used to go to. As rivals with, I guess, you know how sports teams are rivals and things like that.
Mhm.
Rivals with where my girlfriend works.
Okay.
And so last Friday at the girls volleyball tournament,
Mhm.
they were down here in our neighborhood, or whatever, I guess, playing volleyball. And the kids were screaming racial slurs, specifically the N-word,
Oh no.
which I have to say, I would just say it, but in this case, I would rather just say N-word.
You guys are neato.
Oh, they were going off, right?
Nice girls.
And to the point where at the end of the game, one of the police officers had to escort the team to the bus
No.
because the boys were out there still yelling stuff. But here's the question, two things. And one, most people are not going to like this. If I was one of those girls and I was black and you were yelling that at me, I would have popped a volleyball in your face so hard and jumped up in the stands and beat you down.
Oh yeah.
But nobody did. Nobody reacted. And on top of that, the whole faculty of here in Canyon High School, New Braunfels, Texas, in case you're wondering, because I'd like to give them kudos for this, did absolutely nothing.
How is that possible in this day and age?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a genital preference, you're transphobic.
Yeah.
But you can just have like an entire squad of kids calling black kids the N-word throughout the entire game. And that's
so we're just playing volleyball, by the way. You know.
Oh my God.
Is that crazy?
That's just, I don't understand.
I didn't either.
Here in Texas and they're just afraid.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's all them damn Californians messing up Texas.
Oh, the damn Californians.
I'm from California, folks. So
But
I got here way early.
Californians show up and they get all excited. They think all the rules are off. They're like, you remember truly tasteless jokes? They're like,
Mhm.
yeah, no, that's like every day. As long as you smile when you say it, no one gets offended.
Yeah, this was the craziest thing. So that was her coming into work this last Tuesday.
Jeez.
She's just like,
You would think that'd
"You're
be on the national
not
news.
gonna believe this." I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like, are you kidding me?
You would literally think that this would be on the news.
It
Hate
probably
crime.
will be soon enough because that's what they're trying to do. And now here's the retaliation from Hayes County, is the other county, her county. Their retaliation is we will no longer come down and play in your county.
No.
So now you're just what? You're ruining it for everybody? Is that every sport? I don't know. Because, and I'm pretty sure it's not, because football players, come on.
Yeah,
Texas is football.
yeah, you're gonna get hurt.
And for those of you who don't know, I don't give a rat's ass about any sporting event whatsoever.
You playing the foosball, son?
No, I play pool. I throw washers and cornhole.
You've been playing that foosball, you're gonna get hurt.
You and your foosball. My mama said,
Your mama's stupid.
you're stupid.
You're stupid. Mama said alligators are ornery because they got all those teeth and no toothbrush. Your mama's stupid, boy. Don't talk about my mama. The fucking movie.
It's a little,
Dude, Adam Sandler, I'm sorry. People, you just got to recognize the genius.
it's so dumb, it works.
And that's the thing, it's unflinchingly stupid. And my dad, I'll give him credit for this. He's like, here's the problem people have with comedies. They can't get out of their own way sometimes. He goes, if a comedy doesn't take itself seriously, then just laugh. He's like, comedies become irritating when they try and put a message, they try and walk it back. He's like, just be ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous, and we'll all laugh at it and we'll know it's okay.
I think that's why, like, if you think of the end of Blazing Saddles, how were you gonna get out of that movie? There was no way out that would be good except for we're just gonna rip this place up and run crazy through it. And just go nuts. We've already went through, and speaking of the N-word, it was so great how many times they had already said it, and then they went to the sheriff is a nah, the sheriff is a nah, and they just kept saying that, and then after that they went right back to it, which made it even funnier.
It's like it's shocking, and then it's desensitizing.
Yeah.
And then it's shocking again, and then it's exhausting, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I listened to an interview with Gene Wilder. I'm in the middle of his book right now.
I love that guy.
I listened to an interview years ago where he was talking about the only time that him and Mel Brooks didn't agree, and they kind of went face to face and they argued. And it was Young Frankenstein. And what it was is it was the Young Frankenstein scene where they did the putting on the Ritz part, putting on the Ritz, and Gene had written the part and Mel didn't think it was good. And Gene kept fighting for it. And according to Gene, he was so worked up and so upset. He was ready to go to blows over it. He was like, no. And he said it was like 15 or 20 minutes later. And then Mel said, all right, leave it in. And Gene's like, what, that's it? And he goes, yeah. Well, why did you fight me for 15 to 20 minutes on this? And he said, I knew that if you were going to fight that hard, that it must be funny.
Yeah.
And even though I don't see it, I trust that you're right.
Yeah.
And let's face it, that's one of the great moves. That and my daughter and I still do werewolf,
Yeah.
werewolf, their wolf. You know,
Dude.
roll in the hay, roll.
So funny. Dude, I haven't seen those movies probably in 15 years. Probably.
Classics.
I feel like I
Classic.
need to go back and find it.
Gotta be seen.
I gotta make my kids watch it. To me, there's sheer joy in introducing your children to the things that inspired you growing up, and then watching them be inspired by it. Of course, you're just like, that's amazing that we can still have that in common. And then you wonder if your sense of joy and pleasure as you're explaining it to your children or your child, how much it mattered to you, you wonder if it's going to translate. And then it's almost as if you put too much expectation on something that is 40 years old and may not translate well. And I remember with Hunter, one of them was the Beastmaster.
Oh yeah, I remember the Beastmaster. Which
And
when I came back and watched the Beastmaster years later, I was kind of like, whoa,
yeah,
like, this is kind of a homoerotic,
yeah,
weird ass movie, man. I'm like,
very
I never
B
saw it that way. I
movie.
just thought it was a guy who could see through the eye of the hawk and had really cool ferrets.
Mark Singer was 39 years old when he made that movie.
Really?
That was 1983. He was almost 40. That's crazy. Think about it. He's our parents' age, if not older. He's 78.
Jeez.
And he was a hero of teenage boys because, he can talk to the ferrets, he can talk to the eagle, he can talk to the
tiger,
lion, the tiger, the black tiger.
Yeah, that tiger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's some weird scenes in that movie that are
cousin,
like,
the redhead,
softcore porn in a way.
Yeah.
There's no nudity necessarily. Well,
his cousin, the redhead, who was she Kip Winger's wife later on? Tawny Katane. Was that Tawny Katane, the redhead? She was in like the metal. No, who was it?
She's not the girl who danced on the hood of the Jaguars. Is that what you're talking about?
Let me see who she was. Let's see.
Is that really the same girl?
She passed away recently. Beastmaster girl. This was his cousin. This was Dar's cousin. He still wanted to fuck her. He was chasing that ass. It's your cousin. Well, go get it. There she is. Oh, so pretty.
All my cousins are guys.
Tanya Roberts. All right. So
1982. I think that's her, right? That's the Jaguar girl.
Let me check out Tanya Roberts and see what her other claim.
She was with Kip Winger at the time.
That's what I was thinking. American actress, producer, model. Played Julie Rogers in the final season, Charlie's Angels. Stacey Sutton in the James Bond film The View to a Kill. Sheena, Curie in The Beastmaster, and Midge Pignacati in The 70s Show. Tanya Roberts. Jeez Louise. I thought she did some stuff in the 90s. Skip. 70s, 80s, Charlie's B movies. She portrayed Belda, the secretary to private detective Mike Hammer. The television movie Murder Me, Murder You. Mike Hammer, that was Stacy Keach. Jeez. Bond girl. I guess maybe she wasn't in the.
She wasn't in Beastmaster.
I don't see that she was in any of the hair metal band videos. I thought she was though.
She wasn't in The Winger?
Apparently not. I think that was Tawny Katane. Okay. I think that's Tanya Roberts and Tawny Katane. Let me, I'll share the screen with you. I'll show you.
Don't
But
feel bad.
nonetheless,
I was wrong on 3 different levels the other night with my girlfriend and totally pulling complete Matthew confidence.
that's Tanya Roberts.
Okay.
Victoria Lee Bloom. What's wrong? That's a good name. And then we had Tawny Katane. Oh, she didn't age. Well, she aged okay. She's pretty. But I think Tawny.
Oh, that's that's the picture. I remember the yeah, you got it on. You're on it right there. Well, of course it brings up all those.
Hello.
Whoa. Careful what you click on, man. We're gonna get booted. Ouch.
Yeah, right.
Somebody got some work done.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
There
there you go. There they are. There's the Jaguars.
Tawny Katane. That was a winger, right?
Yep. Yeah, Kip Winger.
Man, they had her climbing on Jaguars.
That was probably her job from then on out. Just get up on the hood, honey. He's like, I can do more. I actually have a doctorate. No. Just get on the hood.
Yeah, just rub yourself on the damn cars. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so here's one while you got this up.
Hello. Oh, what the hell? Did she do a flip?
Gee, yeah, evidently she's or a handstand of some kind.
Handstand. She's like a back handspring on the fucking cars. That's insane. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Good job.
I could do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I just don't have that dress.
No, you do have the dress. You're just afraid that you're gonna fall. You just don't have the upper body strength or the flexibility or the balance. But otherwise,
I'm gonna go one direction, but I have to go the other direction here.
All right, go.
So what I've been watching recently, and I'm not sure if it's Amazon. I also have the Stars package for those of you at home, because we are paid so much by Amazon and Stars for the promotion. But I've been watching Barney Miller from the get-go.
Yeah.
That show is it's just those shows in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
Came out in 75.
It was a smart show.
They are so, yeah, I can't imagine what it was like writing for a show like that, saying this is what we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't say these things. And then they go through it all, and they still get the point across. And some of them are so hysterical. There was one the other night, because the crew they've got kind of a nice setup there, and I'm probably going to offend somebody with this some way, so I apologize.
What can you do? Barney Miller.
That
is such a flashback.
Yeah, you got a Puerto Rican guy, right? Oh, there you go. You got and you got a black guy.
Black guy.
And you got a Asian, which they call an Oriental at that time in the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, of course, you got Fish, who is probably the most brilliant character on the whole entire show.
Which one's Fish?
They're doing these cutbacks.
Is this one Fish?
No. Abe Vigoda. Abe Vigoda.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
That's Abe Vigoda.
Yeah,
he is just awesome. His timing is so slow and perfectly placed. It's brilliant. But the guy behind him is a young guy. He's the Puerto Rican. And they're having all these cutbacks. They're just cutting off all the officers. And the young guy says, well, you're safe, Fish, because you're a senior. You'll be fine. And then the other guy says, well, yeah, but they got to bring new blood in too. They got to have something young. And the young guy goes, well, well, how are we going to choose? He goes, oh, don't worry about it. Puerto Rican guy says, they got a guy downtown who goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And then he stops. I mean, the timing is so great. And the black guy goes, oh man, that makes me next.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I was like, snap.
oh, the fact
Yeah,
that we know that because we're children of the 70s, right?
exactly.
Like,
And there's controversy over that nursery rhyme. And they
oh my
used it.
gosh. That's
They,
so funny because my brain filled in the blank immediately.
yeah. Oh, well, I always did Catch a Tiger,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
but
Who's the
you're a
tiger?
racist.
Yeah.
You just agreed to that? Okay, good.
Hey, the Asian guy or the Oriental, as you call him, he
They,
looks like
I don't call him that. That's what they call him.
he looks like Sloth.
I love his character.
Look
He,
at his face is asymmetrical.
yeah,
He
but
looks
he's so funny. His
Sloth
little
love chunk.
comments he does are just like, but there you go.
What about Taxi?
A
This-
problem with Taxi.
You
I
do?
used to love Taxi. I actually had a record label named after Taxi. I had a record label called Rieger Records
Oh, no joke.
because it was after Alex Rieger.
Okay.
Was the only actual cab driver. But then after I started studying Andy Kaufman more, and I can't watch Taxi anymore and watch Andy on there and see it. I'm like,
Why?
because he hated every moment of it.
Because Kaufman hated every moment?
Yeah.
Then why did he go?
Have you not seen the movie?
The one with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Apparently it didn't resonate with me so much that the Taxi Story,
Oh yeah, no,
was it
I mean,
because he's under contract?
yeah, I mean he did it for the money, and it's kind of like it's kind of like where we started out in the beginning of the story with you, is that, you know, the money starts to dictate your
Right.
happiness and what he really wanted to do, but he needed the money, so he did the show.
Right. But then
And
he got stuck being lot.
yeah, and then that's all they wanted to hear. So that's why he would go to the college on tour and just sit and read, you know, whatever book it was, or, you know,
So he wanted, I remember now, he wanted out of the show because
yeah, he was trapped,
he was
and
being typecast.
yeah, because he had a lot more to offer. But
How late
everything
did
he
you-
did eventually pushed him out, to the point where even when he was dying, nobody believed it.
How many years did Jim Carrey lose of himself by going method with that guy? Have you seen the documentary?
I have, and I would say none.
None.
Yeah, I don't think that Jim Carrey's next level of I don't want to use the word enlightenment. I want to find a better word for it, a different word. But his next level of you know, clarity had nothing to do with that. Although sometimes maybe that's what it takes you to. I think Bill Murray went through that,
With,
you know, when he played Hunter Thompson.
yeah,
Well,
where the buffalo roam.
I only think that because of where Bill was when he did it. And for those of you listening at home, it's where the buffalo roam.
So I don't,
But
I think I've seen that one time.
oh,
Which is
you're
crazy
kidding me.
because I love both. I love obviously,
You have a kid named after the author, and you've only seen that one time? Come
yeah,
on.
yeah, which is wild. Look at
Oh,
that.
it's
Oh my gosh.
to me, his version beats Johnny Depp into the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, Deb did a nice job. Yeah. And Where the Buffalo Roam feels like a Hunter Thompson novel, where Fear and Loathing and what's the other one that he did? The
The
Rum
Rum Diary.
Diaries. They feel kind of Hollywood. Bill did this because of, I think, and Bill was hanging with him at the time. And so one of the things that I saw an interview with Johnny Depp when he was doing it, he actually contacted Bill and he said, "Do you have any notes for me? I've got this role, I got to do this." And the only thing Bill said was, "The only thing I'm going to tell you is after you do it, you're never going to be the same.
Damn.
You got to watch Where the Buffalo Roam."
That's pretty profound.
Well, it is, because you're taking on a man who's, for some of us, pretty damn incredible.
Larger than life, and he did it in what, 1980?
Yeah.
He did it at a time when he was still peaking. Like,
Yep.
1974 is like Fear and Loathing. So, he was just about to run for sheriff of Aspen.
Yep.
Like the Freak Power ticket. Like he was top of his game all through the 80s and 90s still.
Yeah.
And then hit a bit of obscurity after that.
It's all there, man. All the way down to pouring vodka inside half of a grapefruit.
Yep.
While he's there, you go. That's the plane scene. And that's where he's doing it. He's got half a grapefruit and he's just pouring vodka into it and doing his thing. Because, for those of you at home still paying attention, Hunter was definitely two different people.
Yes.
So when he was on the road and he was riding, he was immersed, and then he would come back home and he would shut down. Somehow he had a balance of being able to control those two things. At some time I got to show you the book I got. I found a Hunter Thompson book sitting out in a thrift store, sitting on a ledge, out of place, like it was waiting for me. I just looked at it. It's like $3 book day or whatever. It's this huge book. I'm like, oh, I have to buy it. I haven't read the book yet, but I have read what the person wrote on the inside and the back, because there's personal notes of whoever owned the book, and they gave it to somebody and they said, "I'm giving you this because of," and they went through this.
Wow, I love that.
I know, it was
I
a
love
great
that.
time.
I picked up some mafia books. Joe Bonanno, who lived in Tucson when he decided to retire from the mob. Well, and then they decided to put a hit out on him because he wrote his biography and basically gave all the secrets.
Yeah.
And then
do that.
Joe Jr., which is actually Salvatore, his son, who basically took up the mantle and ran half of the Bonanno family, who also lived in Tucson and then in Phoenix. I wound up picking up their autobiographies separate, independent of each other, a couple years apart, and they were both inscribed by the authors.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and they were like handwritten notes by the authors, by Salvatore, Bill Bonanno, and Joe Bonanno.
That's what I love about my daughter is they taught her in school. Anecdotes, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Put anecdotes in the book.
Yeah.
She
Anecdotes,
just finished
anecdotes. Yeah, little stories.
The anecdotes or anecdotes?
Yeah, anecdotes.
Okay. Well, you know me, man. I don't.
Well,
I don't even read, so I listen to Audible. But yeah, so she constantly does that, and she loves it when she gets somebody else's and adds her own. And highlights words and writes what she thinks this means. And I never learned that. They didn't have that in school at Rio Seco, you know?
Right. No, that's so true.
Yeah.
In honor of Hunter Thompson, I know it's getting late for you, so if we got to wrap it up, let me know. But I want to go through this article real quick. If you're a young man and you're trying to find your hero / anti-hero, Hunter Thompson, he was the guy who kind of blazed that path. He was a same or similar generation to your folks, but definitely did not take that exact same. He did not take the same path as your folks, for sure. He started Gonzo journalism, in Gonzo journalism became noted as the author would inject himself into the story. So he basically became, instead of just going to cover the Mint 400 in Las Vegas, it became a story about him and his Chicano lawyer going to the Mint 400, and then chasing the American dream, and all the stuff that comes with a bunch of dope in the back of a vehicle as they're heading out to Vegas together. They wind up in a police convention, high as a kite. So what had become printed in the Rolling Stone, and he had a great relationship with the Rolling Stone magazine because of this. They were looking for I don't know, 2,600 words. It became 26,000 pages because he really hit his stride. And he had been an author, and he'd been in journalism since he was in the Army in the late early 1950s. He was never good at following instructions, but he was really good at describing what it is that he saw around him. And so he wanted to become a character because he's a character in his own stories. And although he said some of the stories were probably worse than what he described, a lot of the stories were much more tame than what he described. So there would be some exaggeration, there would be artistic license. But he said as time went on, the expectation, and actually I read this from Ralph Steadman, who was his primary artist, who did the artwork for all of his books. Ralph Steadman, who had never done a drug in his life, was sent to work with Hunter Thompson to put together a book, Ralph doing the art. Can you imagine if you've never done a drug in your life and you got to follow Hunter Thompson's vision and somehow put that down on paper and make it appear like it's representing a drug-addled brain when you've never had those experiences yourself? And they became fast friends. They became lifelong friends because of that, because Ralph Steadman was able to see what it is that Hunter was trying to portray, and he can draw that vision even though he never had those visions. And it really connected them. Later on, though, Ralph and he did a lot of drugs together, so Ralph could say, okay, my art was pretty accurate, I just had no idea how it was accurate. So Hunter becomes a huge character, and people, and now he's feeling the pressure of going from just being a journalist to being an icon. And it's why he escapes to Aspen, Colorado, Woody Creek. He's trying to get off the main, get out of the spotlight a bit. And he did politics. He followed the Hells Angels and did a book on them, an expose on them. He did a lot of stuff that was revolutionary and bold. But then the expectation was that he be the man in the stories all the time. And he did his best to live up to it. So here's a daily routine is documented by, who was it? Given his desire to approach the world of drugs in an entirely different viewpoint, it should come as little surprise that the iconic writer operated on a totally different level when it came to consumption. E. Jean Carroll, the journalist and columnist who wrote the 1993 memoir of Hunter S. Thompson, along with a biography book, Hunter, The Strange and Savage Life of Hunter S. Thompson, once tapped into Thompson's simply maddening routine intake of drugs. Carroll opens the memoir with the following lines, no pun intended. I have heard the biographers of Harry S. Truman, Catherine the Great, etc., say they would give anything if their subjects were alive so they could ask them some questions. I, on the other hand, would give anything if my subject were dead. He should be. Oh, yes. Look at his daily routine. So if you have a glass, raise it up, get some Chivas Regal, and here we go. 3 p.m., Hunter rises. 3:05, Chivas Regal with the morning papers and Dunhills. Dunhills were his smokes. And he used those filters. That's why he had those long things. He says, my lungs are pink like a baby's. Chivas Regal Scotch. Whew. 3:45, cocaine. 3:50, another glass of Chivas and a Dunhill. 4:05, first cup of coffee and another Dunhill. 4:15, cocaine. 4:16, orange juice and Dunhill. 4:30, cocaine. 4:54, cocaine. 5:05, cocaine. 5:11, coffee, Dunhills. 5:30, more ice in the Chivas. 5:45, cocaine, etc. 6 o'clock, grass to take the edge off the day. He's a little wound up. Woo. Smoke some weed. 7:05, Woody Creek Tavern for lunch. Heineken, 2 margaritas, coleslaw, a taco salad, a double order of fried onion rings, carrot cake, ice cream, a bean fritter, Dunhills, another Heineken, cocaine, and for the ride home, a snow cone, a glass of shredded ice, over which is poured 3 or 4 jiggers of Chivas. 9 o'clock, start snorting cocaine seriously. 10 o'clock, drops acid. 11 o'clock, chartreuse, cocaine, and grass. Chartreuse is like a very like sweet herbal type liqueur. 11:30, cocaine, etc. Midnight, Hunter S. Thompson is ready to write. 12:05 to 6 a.m. Chartreuse, cocaine, grass, Chivas, coffee, Heineken, clove cigarettes, grapefruit, Dunhills, orange juice, gin, continuous pornographic movies. 6 o'clock, the hot tub, champagne, Dove bars, fettuccine Alfredo. 8 a.m. Halcyon, which is a sleeping pill, and 8:20 sleep.
All right. Can I stop you right there?
I'm done.
If I remember correctly, that is all in Where the Buffalo Roam.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Because they probably took it, from whatever that writing was.
Mm-hmm.
And, for some of us, that sounds very romantic. Way out of reach. And I think that's why it was written to begin with. I don't want to deflate it, but that wasn't every day.
Right.
That may have been one.
Somebody was watching.
Yeah, and what did they want to hear? Because that was part of the problem, is getting caught up in the persona.
Right.
Which again kind of goes back to what you were saying in the very beginning, which is, you don't necessarily want to be the talent out front. You're fascinated with the function on the back end of, keywords and search engine optimization and all these things. Same thing there. And so it's misleading at times because it's easy for us to look at it and go, because especially as men, that's cool. That's how he lived every day. Yeah, you know what? Try doing that 7 days a week and see how you feel.
Right. Well,
And
that's where he accidentally, I think, went from being the caricature to becoming the character.
Yeah,
Because he got to the point where he felt compelled
yes,
to live like that all
you
the time.
you have to
And
become
it wore him out. It wore him the fuck out really,
yeah,
really
you have to
fast.
become the persona you are. And I've been on a very small, minuscule level and destroying my persona, which started on the show. What better place?
Mhm.
Um, we'll see where it goes, but it's that thing when you start hearing from people and they start calling you things and saying things to you that you're just like, I never said that. I'm like Tony Robbins has his Netflix deal, I'm not your guru.
Yeah.
And when people call me a guru, I say, please don't call me a guru. I am not a guru.
Never signed up for that.
I am more messed up than you will ever know, and I'll show you. Want to watch me play a Korn song on guitar? No problem. But then also everybody who was supposedly in my work family went, woo, let's get out of here. Detach.
Isn't that strange?
It is odd.
I was talking to Rebecca, and I said, she works out like a beast, like 2 hours in the morning, an hour in the evening. She's really, really diligent about what she puts in her body, how she eats, like everything. She used to be obese. She used to be huge. She was 110 pounds heavier.
This is your girlfriend, right? The one with the colored hair.
Yeah, with the colored hair. Yeah. She's worked really, really, really hard to transform herself. I mean, to the point where I'm like, I said, I look at pictures of who you were, and I don't see you in there. I don't see you in there. Like everything's changed about you. You're how you perceive yourself. I mean, I said, even looking at pictures of you when you were younger and thinner, I still don't see you. You look like a different human being. You completely made this metamorphosis, which is phenomenal. She's like, so you wouldn't have liked me back then? I'm like, no. Not because of anything except for the fact that you are who you are now. And then that's the person I fell in love with, is who you are now. I said, but that being said, we know that I know the things that you do to work really hard, and you impress me along a lot of things you do impress me. Take care of your kids. Like you wear the pants and the dress. You do all parts because you refuse to not have it be done for your family. I said, but at the same time, I also know your insecurities. I also know your weaknesses. I also know the broken parts. The parts where your self-doubt, the parts that you don't want people to know about. I know the things that make you angry, furious, the things that make you cry ridiculously. And here's the amazing part. I think even knowing all those things, that you could be a remarkable life coach for people.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's like, yeah, but you know how fucked up I am. I'm like, I know. That's the point.
That's the selling point.
The point is that
you got to trust somebody who went through it.
I know your broken parts, and I know you still battle it.
Yeah, and I'm there
for it.
I don't know if you know, a friend requested her through Facebook, which I almost never friend request anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want any more friends. In fact, I dump more friends than I ever request. I don't request anybody. I've got everybody that I need to know.
Yeah.
But she was coming up, and she was important in your life, and I thought, you know what, I'll do this, and on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which I'm rarely on anyway, but I didn't know about the weight thing at all. But she does not have the typical, I shouldn't say typical, that's not the right word. I know specifically of somebody who's in the same boat,
Mm-hmm.
except she's holding on to the insecurity and the anger that she had from before.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't seem to have that. She's always got a big smile. She's very happy. She's always glowing. And I'm like, and I watched for a while, because
Yeah.
like I said, I don't let everybody into my circle.
Oh,
But
I
I
know.
thought, big smile. You know what? I can't turn that down. Hey, will you be
She
my friend?
wants,
Yeah. Okay.
she shares positivity, even
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
because she understands that
And I don't expect every day of her life to be, unicorns and rainbows and, farty
we don't wake, we
marshmallows.
don't wake up every day feeling the way that we present. However, you can present a positive truth, even if it's not 100% your reality in the moment. And what you learn is that then you pick that up and you carry it forward yourself, because affirmations matter. And even in the last few months, she's picked up on doing that. Like I said, your negative self-talk between the two of us is, to me, disturbing. Like, you're harder on yourself than anybody else in the world, and I think you need to love yourself a little bit more than you ever have. Because
You're here on the inside.
yeah, right. I'm impressed. She said, well, it's easy for you because you're so fucking confident all the time. No, I have imposter syndrome. I feel, I just feel like anybody does in life, where I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm a good enough dad. I'm not sure, I feel I failed in my marriage, even though I know I did my part. I still failed. We failed each other. I said, I have all these things that I can find a way to spin myself into the darkness and keep myself there under, punishment for having failed. Or I can look at the lessons that I learned along the way and say, well, you know what? Fuck it. Irrational self-confidence. That's the whole point. I'm going to say something irrational and I'm going to believe in myself. And whether I feel it or not in the moment, I'm going to flip on the fucking video and I'm going to tell people, look, I'm amazing. I am super smart. I'm funny and I'm good looking. Can you imagine what it is? Wake up every morning knowing that most men and all women want to sleep with you. Like, wow, it's intense. But you just shrug it off and you move on with life, and you
I
realize
just,
you
I've
shit
really,
gold bricks and
I've come to a nice place of comfort with it.
and I said it's not
I
that.
just wish it was more women and less men, but
Yeah, but
whatever, I'll
it
take the
doesn't
compliment where I can get it.
it doesn't hurt that bad after a while. It really doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the wisest men I've ever known in my life.
Thank you. You weren't quoting me yet. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, other than you,
Okay.
um, was I used to refer to him as a second dad because it was the only way to put enough emphasis on it. But his name was Ron Vavra, taught up at Grossmont College, coach to my dad in high school at Helix, coached to him once he got up to sorry, allergies are awful out here, but up at Grossmont College, and worked there the whole entire time. All kind of blah 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 blah. Doesn't really matter. And one day he told me, he said, and this is a man who had lived a long life already, even when I was talking to him. He recently passed.
Did he have unicorns?
Yeah. But he said, people ask me all the time, how can you be so positive? Because he experienced a tremendous amount of tragedy, because that's just part of life. You're going to experience tragedy.
Right.
And he said,
Life
and I'll
is
tell
filled
you
with
the
tragedy
secret.
beset by malevolence.
What's that?
Life is filled with tragedy beset by malevolence.
Yeah.
That's a Jordan Peterson quote. So
He said, the truth is, it takes work. He says, every morning when I wake up, I have to work at it.
yeah,
It's not something that just happens. It's not just something that falls upon you. You have to make a conscious effort to be positive.
yeah,
And that's hard to do sometimes. I mean, I've been there.
yeah.
I'm having a hard time right now just getting out of bed sometimes. Because I know all the shit I got to do. And I'm like, oh, man. Really rather sleep.
I'll find myself at a grocery store or something. Somebody saying, "Hi, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm fantastic. How are you doing?"
That's
Like,
my line.
and they're always like, "What?" I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous. They're like, "Fabulous." I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" That's the word. And they're like, that's so refreshing for you to just respond in a positive way. So, well, what's the alternative? I can complain.
My day totally fucking sucks.
But why bring you down?
Going out to my car and grabbing my 9 and coming in here and shooting up
Right.
the store.
Right.
I wonder what they do then.
I said, you're being friendly because it's your job. You have about 4 minutes of interaction with every customer.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you have customers who think that you're asking them as their therapist, and they spend their 4 minutes dumping their load of shit into your fucking head. And you're like, next. And you got to smile and nod because you know they're going to come pick up their vodka and grapefruits the next day.
Isn't that what bartenders are for? I thought they were supposed to be the therapist.
Anybody who's in that server position, right? And they're like, yeah. They're kind of like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, and we're in the middle of COVID. Like you're masked up. Everyone said you're essential. You can't get away from it. You got to be scared all the time, paranoid. I'm like, you're working in a plastic box, dealing with everybody else who's paranoid and complaining about everything. I'm like, that's a shit job. It's a tough job what you do. So I appreciate it. So why would I burden you with anything other than fantastic? And they're like, I love you. I'm like, see?
It's done. I don't know you.
What? Like, what else do we got?
It's not your job to fix me. I was broken.
I'm like, hey, so you want more of this?
Store.
It's like, if you want more of this, I have some books. You check them out at theshelfhelpshow.com. You go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow. Damn it. That's how that works. Upsell. God dang it.
Affiliate sale.
Like I said, I just had to remove myself from being the product while I figured out the marketing.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up in about, I'll give you another 10. Let's get out on a high note. Let's say something fun.
Well, my pussy. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just quoting you.
I got a phone. So my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. It finally the screen cracked too much and it finally crapped out on me. My bad. I got into a shitty habit of falling asleep, sitting in a chair and then dropping my phone while I fell asleep. So it took a year of dropping that phone continuously for it to finally crap out. And I had the phone since 2019, so we're doing all right. So I ordered a new phone and I ordered the Google Pixel 6. Because I was thinking, what do I like to do with the phone? What are the things I use mine primarily for? Like realistically, photography. I like to take pictures. I take pictures, I make little promo spots. So I looked for the best review when it came to pictures. And sure enough, this little guy,
a little sucker came up.
Yeah, came up as the thing. It's even got it's got a raised back because the lenses apparently are so bomb ass that it had to put a extra flap on here to protect them. So it's the same size as the S10. It's 6.4 inches, 6.5 inches diagonal. It's got all the bells and whistles, no big deal. It was weird because it came today and it didn't come with a charger. I've not seen that before. What you got? Is it a Pixel?
No, it's just, I was just.
No.
it's
Showing
just-
yours?
It's just a 12.
So
So lame.
this is a track phone. So this is a flip phone. It's very basic. Costs $19.99. The service
Anybody needs
costs.
cocaine or heroin, you'll give you the 555 for
That's right.
9321 is the number.
It was weird to have a flip phone because it's got the same technology as flip phones did 10 years ago. You have, if you want to go to the internet, you have to take the arrow and point it up into the and type in the URL. Like it's all like old school.
What's a
20 bucks.
URL? What are you talking about?
Uniform resource language. That's what the web address is.
Craziness.
So this was the fun part.
You just bought that because you want to be on Star Trek.
Yes. Well, I was going to be like 4 to 5 days without a phone otherwise, because my other one was just yellow lights. You couldn't do anything with it. It was just done. So I got this off of Instacart. I went to Instacart on Friday and I ordered a phone for 20 bucks. Then it got delivered, taxes. It was like closer to 40 bucks probably.
30. Yeah, I was going to say $39 later.
Yeah. So $39. That's
My
fine.
$20 phone showed up.
And then I went online and I activated it and I bought a $20. I think it was 25 bucks for unlimited talk and text. And I don't know, whatever, 2 gigabyte of data. I'm like, I don't even know how to get music to play on here, data to play on here. So it didn't matter.
I wouldn't even try.
So it's been a weird week because I've had this, which feels kind of bulletproof. Plug my headphones in. I can talk to my girl, walk around, no big deal. And then I bust out my flip phone at the grocery store and I try and swipe it for Google Pay. And that didn't work because it doesn't have that technology. I'm like, oh. And I had a weird disconnect. I didn't realize how much I utilize the interwebs on my smartphone until I didn't have a smartphone from Friday until today.
Oh,
So it was 6 days with the smartphone, no smartphone capability. So I could be
Your hand
driving
like
somewhere
this?
with, yeah, driving someplace with the kids, and maybe we're just talking about something, whatever, like a James Bond girl, let's say, and Dad's trying to.
Wait, octopus.
I think
Yeah.
so and so was Octopussy. I think she was the James Bond girl. And they're like, "You think so?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And immediately I'm like, "Jamie, look this up," which is, my Joe Rogan reference. So then I go like this. I don't know. This has that T9 typing where you just type, you hit the buttons where the letters are supposed to go. You can do it in order if you want to, where you have to go like 333 is F, and then 33 is E. You can do it that way, or you can do T9, which does predictive. My amount of my text messaging dropped to none. My text messaging dropped to none, and plus it doesn't do voice to text on top of that. So not only can I not look things up, I can't MapQuest things, I can't Google it, I can't prove whether or not I was right or wrong about something.
Like, what is wrong with this? All it does is make phone calls.
All this make phone
What's wrong with
calls
this
and very
phone?
basic text messages, right? So even my text messages between Rebecca and I are kind of like very base. Let's see if it'll show you.
I can't see it. It's too glowy. Still can't. Too glowy.
There's me at the bottom. She's like,
I could.
mine says K. She
Oh,
says, that's
Yeah.
all I can type. She's
you
like,
kidding?
sorry,
Are you?
I
pissed?
napped
Is that why you're writing K?
on a call, and I put, I tried like 5 different times, and I got K. K, that's it. And then she earlier this week, she says, hi. My response was gig. I don't know why it was gig. I don't know what gig meant, but that's what I got out of this. And then I went to reply again.
I was
Oh,
only
and then she responded GI, and I responded XO. Like, this is just got to keep it fucking simple, like simple. And I'm like, it was like a pro and a con. It simplified my.
conversation.
It removed my desire to overexpress, and it forced me to be conservative with what I was going to share, because it was just too damn complicated. Voice to text is like the worst thing, because
And
I can
that's all I can do, because I can't spell.
because you
So
can't spell, it works really well.
I have a really hard time, but then I have to go back, and I have a really bad habit of leaving the mic on and then hitting send, and then I'll read everything and then it'll shift it. In that send, it'll say something else, and I'll be like,
Oh no, I
I
hate
should have
that.
I should have turned that off so it could shift it and then I could correct it. But I don't like proofreading myself. I mean,
Right,
even when I write copy and sales letters, I pay somebody to proofread that.
right,
Usually my daughter now, because she's really good at it.
right.
But it's ridiculous.
You're like, I already know my limitations.
Yeah.
So if I voice text it and then I fuck it up and I got to go back and proofread it, like, what's the point? If I was able to do that easily, I would have just done it the first time, for God's sake. Now it's like a chore. Whatever, just let it
Well,
go.
and luckily for me, my girlfriend, her major was in she's an English major.
Oh, fun.
Not only that, she's been in education her whole entire life, teaching. Now she's in administration. So she knows exactly how stupid I am when I write her a text. She even told me what she told me a couple nights ago. She said, by the way, I know when you've been drinking and you're texting me, you think you have me fooled, but I can see the difference in the way that you write. I'm like, ah, shit.
What?
I give up. Fuck it. I
You're
can't
like,
pull nothing
what?
over on you.
Wow.
I'm screwed.
So she's like, look, I can see, like,
I really got I get when I was
she
dating
can sniff
younger
out the difference
girls,
between
it was so easy.
illiteracy and drunk illiteracy. You're like, fuck,
I know.
it's just brutal.
I know.
I could tell when you were trying too hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I mean,
you're feeling confident at the same time.
the younger girls, they never notice, but you're smarter than I am, so now I'm screwed.
That's a keeper.
Yeah, I
You need
know.
somebody that you can contend with.
Oh, I can't
That's
even
the
contend
key.
with her. It's like stepping in the ring with Tyson.
You want somebody who will not love you just for who you are, but who you can be. You want that person who's like,
And will accept
close.
how screwed up you are.
Yeah. Right.
That's the
And
beauty.
know that we're all broken. It's okay.
That's right. That's
We're all
right.
damaged. It's okay.
What do you do for a living, Matthew?
Eh,
Not exactly.
little this and that.
What day is it?
Every day I'm hustling. Whatever, a little this, little that. I don't
I was
know.
gonna go to work, but then I got high. But then I got high. But then I got high. La, la, da, da, da.
You're like, did you know you can monetize your thoughts? She said, what? Yeah, it's true. Sorted that
Mhm.
shit out when I was young. Like, mom,
I
dad,
know.
I've just been thinking. They're like, you keep thinking, son. Like, okay, rock on. What do you want to do for a living? I want to think. I don't want to think. I don't like working. I like thinking about stuff. I
One
think
thing that resonates in my head,
I can make a living doing that.
my dad had a cush job, right? Working at Grossmont College as not a teacher, but as a photographer, just up there.
Mhm.
Like, so and so board member needs a picture. This is a guy who had a ping pong table in his office until the noise was too much. They also set up a frisbee golf course on campus. I mean, he's living the life, right?
Great.
So I'm realizing right now I should not tell this story.
Oh,
I gotta pump the
Oh.
brakes. I hate to do that to y'all.
no.
Sorry.
I thought it was gonna be poignant.
No, it wasn't that good, but you
You're
gotta
like-
watch what you're talking about, you know what I mean?
Like, I was gonna mock my pops. No, I'm not. Love you,
That's
pops.
Well, let's cut this thing off, man. I gotta
Yes,
go.
sir.
to bed.
Yeah, time to go to bed. So for Hunter S. Thompson and my buddy Matthew, the guitar monk, check him out. Check out his website.
Zero Limits
with the-
Music.
Jeffrey with a G, you know me. Zero Limits Music.com. Is that correct? ZERO 0.
That's right.
If you want
Go
to taste
buy
the cheese,
everything in my catalog and support me. That's what I
if
want you to do.
you oh, I remember I told you and I shared with you some of the videos that were, visual with music. And
Yes.
you're like, oh, you do that, and so one of them is up to like 4,400 views.
Nice.
It's moving along, so we should collaborate on something, because I know there's a way to drive some of that 4,400 to learn more about what it is you do. So I think that would be amazing.
That's probably an off-air conversation. We can talk
Yeah.
about that.
Of course, yeah.
And
But I
also,
think-
I've seen your web development. I'm impressed with that also. So
So
and I would love to get away from that part of it because
I'll do the work. I just need the content. So you got content.
that we'll make it deal.
We'll put it together. We'll make it happen. So anyways,
All
hold on. There we go. ZeroLimitsMusic.com. That's Matthew. I'm Jeffrey with a G. Love one another. Love yourself. Have a good night.
I want to make a Z.
Oh, you know what? I could finish with the rest of that
Are we off?
that spot. No, we're still on. But that rest of that spot goes like right here. Go Bull.
Everyone holds his phone like a sculptor.
I'm ready, voila!
I'll meet you right back here.
Are we off? in the dark. Hey, there you are.